So what was I saying? So different organizations have a different way of, dealing with this phishing email. Few of them have a separate mailbox, and the users, whoever wants to do, report any phishing email, right? They can send out an email to that particular mailbox, email ID, or in some cases, you will have something called as a fish. Let me show that. Fish button. Outlook.
You have not
Okay,
shared your screen.
Sharing my screen. Yeah. You see this, right? In your Outlook, you will have a button like this, report as phishing, or like this, report phishing. So this is the configuration one of that the IT team, you might have to work with the IT team to go for, have that. All right. So nothing. They just click on this particular fish alert. All right. They'll get a pop-up, right? Thank you for reporting, or anything that you can see. Are you sure you want to report this as a phishing? If they say yes, behind, in the background, this will be linked to a different mailbox, right? This is this person's mailbox or anything, right? So when a person clicks on this fish alert, this will be linked to a different mailbox. What happens when they say yes? The mail will be sent to that particular mailbox and will be deleted from the user's box. Understood? So what happens is, when they click on this, when they think, okay, this could be a phishing email or a spam mail, whatever, right? When they click on this, they get a pop-up. When they say yes, there will be a email box, there will be a mailbox, configured for this, for receiving the fish alerts. All right, fish alert emails. So when they say yes, the email whichever the user was going to report will get deleted from his or her inbox, goes and gets dumped into this fish alert mailbox. Okay. In some organizations, it is set up that way. So before we understand, I hope all of you know what is the difference between a phishing, a spam email, a phishing and a spam email. Everybody?
Oh, could you please brief?
Mm-hmm. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, just please tell the difference.
Okay, anybody else who wants to go for it? Difference between a phishing and a spam. I will tell, but just want to know if everybody understands the difference. Hello?
Yes, Sati, please.
Spam is a bulk of messages sent to many recipients.
Mm-hmm.
Phishing is like a particularly targeted to get the informations or sensitive informations.
Okay, okay. I'll tell you. Okay. Someone else also wanted to tell anything?
Uh, I want to say that PAM is basically for advertorial uh, dispensation. You use it purposely to send unsolicited adverts to different people, while phishing is actually a deliberate, uh, malicious email sent out to infiltrate data from various systems or from a particular system.
Yep. Yes. Thank you. Thanks for that. Yeah. So, guys, the difference between, as rightly said, yeah, the main difference is the phishing emails, right? It is sent with a malicious intent. All right. It is sent with a malicious intent, either to grab some of the personal information, or personal information as in In some mails, they ask you to click on a link, right, where it leads to another page wherein it'll ask you for a username, password, or something called, in some cases I've seen wherein it links to a Google document where they're asking for a pin. What is the pin that you have, right? So these kind of things are some malicious content, malicious intent that they have. And in some cases they click on a link and it something else gets downloaded, right? So why are they doing this? So that they either get some data out of that user, all right, or install some kind of a malware, malicious software on the person's system so that they can easily, compromise that particular machine, right? So phishing emails, they will have a malicious intent, all right? But whereas spam, it could be a unwanted email, it's just an unwanted email, right? So you I think you remember, right? I mean, most of us would have experienced these random calls from these credit card people or your your service providers. So these people do they, it's called cold calling. They just call people, right? So any possibility of any customer, they just randomly call people. Similarly on spam also, people send out these you can't categorize there will be a lot of marketing emails, all right? You can't say that as spam, right? But in some scenarios, they just randomly send some, information that is really not wanted for us. It could be your credit card, emails, anything from the bank, right? Or something that you don't have any, business with. They just randomly send emails, all right? So those do not have anything like a malicious intent. There is nothing like, the content. When you go through the content of the email as well, you will not find anything malicious, right? Those are just unwanted emails. So unwanted emails could be told as spam emails, all right? Some emails with malicious intent, sent with malicious intent, could be told as phishing email. All right, and phishing can also be sent across to wider audience. Okay, not only spam, even phishing can be sent out to a wider audience. But there is a term when a certain people are targeted. Certain people are targeted. You have any idea about that? Certain people in your organization, could be your management or something like that, are targeted and sent. What is that?
Waiting.
Yes, waiting.
Whale fishing.
Right? So there is one more term called smishing. Yeah. Any idea about that?
SMS.
Through
Absolutely.
SMS.
Through SMS. Yeah. Anything that's sent, any of those, like a phishing email sent over a SMS. These days, even that is becoming common, right? They send out an email. We are tracking this package for you. Please click on this link. Someone is sending you a package. Can you please click on the link to track your package? Or your loan is approved. Please click on the link. I get all those messages. Please click on the link to update your details. Ah, who's that? Mute, 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 mute. Right? So yeah, that is smishing. Okay, so today we'll analyze couple of phishing emails. All right, so I had crafted some. Let me open that. You can see this, right? Oh, I'm already sharing my screen. Spam. So these are all some random, see this? You guys can see my screen, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
So,
Yeah.
okay. So this was some test emails that was sent by previous class students. So not open that. I'll check this. So So this is some feature from Norton that I get. It highlights the suspicious one. All right, suspicious links. It already highlights. But let's say we have received this email. Do you see this email? Everybody can see this?
Yeah.
Everybody see this? So what in this email do you think is looks little suspicious? What are the, okay, or else I'll ask you a different way. So what are the few things that you, as soon as you see, you feel, okay, it's a red flag. Can you show me those red flags?
Link first of all.
Okay, so the
And
link now you can come to know because it says, no, it is suspicious link.
and
All
the
right, but
domain
yeah,
that
I'll
is
mention that. Yeah, I'll mention that.
It
and
has Microsoft instead of
Microsoft.
Microsoft.
Yeah,
There's a typo spotting.
yes,
Spelling.
typo spotted domain. Yes. Okay, and then anything else?
spelling.
Urgent. I
Sorry.
mean,
The message is
Hello.
showing as a critical one to change your password.
critical and urgency one.
Okay.
There is
Okay.
spelling mistake.
There's no spelling mistake. Okay, there's no spelling mistake.
Like-
Okay, but so these were the, okay, the ones which you mentioned, right? The urgency, spelling mistakes and all, yeah. But these days attackers have become very sophisticated, all right? You won't really get to know. You will be wondering whether this is really a phishing mail or not, unless and until you have to go ahead, analyze to understand. Earlier it used to be the case, I agree, the spelling mistakes, sense of urgency and all of it, but these days those things cannot be the only one for us to understand whether it is a fish or a spam or whatever, right? So there are a couple of things that you need to do. One is, like you guys said, looking at the email content. You guys told me that this looks like a typo squatted domain. This link could be malicious. The sense of urgency. How did you find all of these things? By looking at the content of the email, right? One is by looking at the content of the email, and one is by analyzing the header. All right, I will tell you how would we analyze the header, but let's understand how do we analyze the content. Okay, so taking this as an example, right? So whenever you get an email from a from the like when the email gets reported to you guys, right? First things first, always you can check what is the domain that this person is sending from. Okay, what is this email ID, the sender email ID, the domain. You can always go back and check the domain. Where will you check the domain? You can always check this particular domain. I'll close all of this. Okay, there are multiple sites. Virus total. You have something called Talos. You can search wherever you want to, right? Search that domain is. We will search. We'll search what this domain is, right? You'll get to know some details about this. Information technology, media sharing, online shop, blah blah blah. Okay, there is nothing, nobody has reported anything from this. Something called Microsoft. All right, that's okay. We are just collecting information now, so you know you have checked the domain. Okay, the domain is done. Where do we check? We use virus total or any other, right, tool to check the domain. You have checked the domain, fine. All right, and you come to the content of the email. Content of the email, if, okay, there are two things here. So some emails contain links, right? You can't just straight away go ahead, click on this link and I don't know, get more information about it. Never do that. Never click on the link to find out where it goes. That is what the attacker or the bad actor wants you to do. They want you to click on this link, but you should never click on the link. Never click on the link. There is a way to check. Okay, there's a way to check this particular link. All right, you can definitely share that link over here and see. But when you check over here, you will just get to know, right, whether this is malicious or not, right? And why was this targeted, right? So this not, it shows nothing in the community. There might be something 4 years ago. Someone has given it a low risk score, a low, threat score. And if you check the details again, it says nothing. It is there is nothing like malicious. All right, it says all clean. But apart from virus total, to check the link, all right, to check the link, whatever is being shared in the email. I'm sorry. Anybody? Thought someone was saying that. No? Okay. So yeah, if at all you see any link in the email, copy that link. Do not click on that link. Check in virus total the score of that particular link. You can only check the score. You can get some details about it, right? But if you would really want to see what happens when a person clicks on that link, there is a website that you guys can use, which is called as browser link. Browser link. This is browser link. All right, I'll share all these links with you guys. So in browser link, you can put in the whole, what do you call, the URL over here. All right, select whichever browser that you want to run in. All right, click on test now. So this takes a little bit of time. You'll be given 3 minutes of free time. And it depends. Now I've got first position, but it depends if others are waiting. You will be made to wait for some time. All right. And when you click on that link, when you use that link over here and click enter, this will open up in a different environment. This is not your system, right? This is a sandbox environment. This was actually a malicious link. I think they have brought this down, so that's the reason it says site cannot be reached, right? So anything that you want to do, any other links, if there are multiple links in this email also, check all of that in this particular gov.com. I don't know what this is. Finding ancestry, ancestor research, DNA ancestry. Okay, right. So I think they have brought down this website, right? It says it's available to buy. Okay. So anyway, this is how you do it. Do not click on the link. Use browser link. You'll have 3 minutes of time. All right. Do whatever analysis you want. Why are you doing this? To understand what that link leads to. With virus total, you will get to know whether it is tagged as malicious, suspicious, or whatever. You will get a score. But to really understand what is happening what will happen when you click on the link, you can use browser link. It will give you more details, right, as to what that particular link leads to. Okay, so this could be something malicious. You can click, you can do whatever you want over here. Why? Because this is not your system. This is running on a sandbox environment, right? So ancestry, this is some advertising, so it's fine anyway. All right, so this is what you do when you receive the email, right? You can check the domain, you can check the links. So checking the link again, virus total or browser link, that is where you can do. So search, so content, you can use virus total, use browser link, right? And in some cases, right, there will be no links, But in the signature, right, in the signature, those people would have added some social media accounts, right? That could also be somewhat, I mean, that could also be in situations I've seen malicious. That would, if you just click on that link, right? So even in the signature, if there are any links, verify those links as well, either through Aristotle or browser link. Even in the signature, what you get. All right. So even that. And this is about the link. What if there are some attachments? What if there is any attachment in the email? Right? So for attachment, right, in some companies, you will have a sandbox. You will have a sandbox. So you need to check. I mean, anyway, they would let you know once you join the company, right? There would be a sandbox environment wherein you can submit the whole file itself. You can submit the whole email itself, and it will analyze the complete email and give you a result. Okay, so there is also one more website called as hybrid analysis, hybrid analyzer or hybrid analysis. Yeah, this is the one, hybrid analysis. So this is a free version. All right. If you want to try out something, if you are, you can go ahead. If you want to try out something, you can use this hybrid analysis, right? Now, for now. Okay. But in your organization, please do not go ahead, upload your organizational emails over here, because this will generate a public report. This will generate a public report, and some cases where people might have reported a genuine mail itself. It would be probably from HR, or it could be some training email, right? They might think, hey, no, this is phishing, this looks like a spam email or a phish email, and they would have reported it. Okay, so in such cases, if you use something like this, a free tool, and upload the data, right, this will create a public report. So do not do that in your organization, for your organization when you're trying to analyze. So please check if they have a sandbox in their own environment, or if they are using some services. So you can buy this. So your organization can also buy this at a price, right? So you can use it. So here there's nothing much. Okay, whatever the email is, right, whatever the email is, you can just drag and drop. You need not download it onto your system. Where is my, okay, you need not download it onto your system. You can just drag and drop that email. I don't know if it works for one second, let's test it out.
While dragging itself, it will be get click.
But your mail emails and all, like your Outlook mails and all, you can just drag and drop it. You will be able to drag and drop the mail over here, right? Or if you want to analyze any file, right, you can just drag and drop it over here. Okay, once you drag and drop it, any file that you think that you want to analyze further, right, you can just drag and drop. Okay, I'm not a robot. See, okay, but I always fail in these things. Okay, do not submit my sample to unaffiliated third parties. There is an option over here, right? So see, allow my community members to access sample. So when you upload, right, I mean, this is always checked in. You can't remove that. So the sample analysis will be shared with the community. All right, so it will ask you which environment you want to run this particular file on. You can select whichever you want. All right, and it will create a public report. Okay, so now it is analyzing the file. Even in your email, if there is any attachment, it will open that and it will check what is there in that file. or if there is any link, right, it will open that, it will click, I mean, it will scan that, it will take the link, right, it will see what all it is being, where all it is leading to, right, what is the actual content of the email. It is going to do all of it, right. So Falcon CrowdStrike, Meta Defender, Virus Total, it's going to run scans on multiple AV solutions. And here you see Falcon Sandbox. This is CrowdStrike Falcon, right? They have a sandbox. So it is running that particular file over here in the sandbox environment. So if you scroll up, you would have got the hash value, right? You would have got the hash value of the file, which whatever file you upload, you will get the hash value. And for now, it says no specific threat. If at all there would be something malicious, right, it will definitely show it as suspicious or sorry, malicious, and it will give you more details about it. So let it complete. It might take a while, right, because see, this is a free platform, right, that we are using, so there'll be multiple people using it, so it might take some time. Could be a different scenario in your organization. Okay, it could be a different scenario because you would have purchased, right? You would have purchased it from them. So please use the purchased version, whatever your organization uses. So let's wait. We'll come back to this. Okay, anyway, it has told us that no specific threat so far. Okay, is this clear, everybody, till here?
Yes, sir.
So we use a sandbox to check the attachment. All right, browser link to check the link, right? Virus total to check the domain, domain/link, whatever that you want to search. But this will just give you the score, right? It will tell you what that is, whose information will also be there, right? Who, to whom that domain, belongs to, right? And if people would have added something in their community, in the community saying we had seen some kind of a phishing email that was sent, whatever, right? You will find all that details in virus total, in the community, and even in the details, right? You will get more information, but browser link will give you actual page where that link leads to. So these are few things that you can do when by looking at the email, by looking at the email. Okay, so this is the email content, right? By looking at the email content. Now there is one more thing called as header. So this is all with respect to content, and now it is header. So what is this header? Header is if some part of an email message. All right, it's a part of an email message, and the way you can get that header information is in your Gmails. It is more. You can go to show original. Okay, you can go to show original. See, even over here it says report phishing, right? So anyway, show original. So whatever you see here, right? This is your email header. This is your email header. This is a message, right, of your email. Okay, who sent, from where did they send, right? All that information will be over here in the email header. This is in Gmail. Let's see how it looks in, or where to find in Outlook, because I think most of you will be using Outlook, right? So Outlook properties email header, yes. So you can check this, right, in your Outlook. What happens is when you open the email, right, when you open the email, there'll be something called as an info. Okay, when you open this email, you have to open this particular email. When you open this particular email, at the top over here, you will see something called as info, file or info. Okay, I'm getting confused now. Okay, just click on that. Okay, click on that. Sorry, that will be file. When you click on that, you will get this page. Okay, open that particular email. At the top, you will see file. When you click on file, you will get all of this information. Okay, you will get this information, and over here you see something called as properties. When you click on properties, this is what you will get. When you click on, see properties, it says when you click on properties, you will get this page. This is your header information. Internet headers, whatever you see, you can copy this whole information. This is your email header. Understood? So open the email. Once you open up the email, you will get something called file. So click on that file. It will lead you to this page. Okay. Click on info properties. When you click on properties, you will get properties page wherein you will find the email header. You will get the email header. Okay. Understood the flow?
Yes, Sudhir.
Sorry, questions were asked. Yeah, correct. And it's also like it was typo spotted, right? So it was not actually from them. Yeah. So yeah. Now what do? We have analyzed the email content. Now we'll analyze the email header. This is what we will analyze. Okay, so now I'll copy this to clipboard. There is one more tool called as MX Toolbox. It's called MX Toolbox. So yeah. MX Toolbox, analyze headers, right? Analyze headers. Let's click on that. And here is where you paste the header. So I've copied the header, right? The header information. Now I'm going to click on analyze header. So what is this tool? This tool is called as MX Toolbox, right? There are multiple tools available. There are multiple tools available, not only this. So header analysis is done by, for now we are using MX Toolbox. Okay, to analyze the header. All right, now let's click on analyze header. And it gives a detailed report. It gives detailed report of that particular email. All right, it says DMARC compliant. No, it's not. Everything has failed. SPF is failed. DKIM alignment is not there. Everything is failed. Right, if you just scroll down, here you'll see the header. So whatever is there in the header, is neatly put it in a proper template, like our parsing, how our Splunk does, right? Normalizing parsing. So that is similar, right? You will get in a proper way to understand, to analyze this further. Okay, so I'll come back to this SPF DKIM, right? First, let's understand the header. All right, these are the information that was found in the header. So it depends from message to message, right? In some cases, this is how much you see. In different mail, the email header could be completely different. Not completely different, I mean to say, these fields, whatever you see, right, the left hand side, this could be different. There could be something more, there could be something less. That's what I'm meaning. I'm not saying that the wordings would differ. No, the fields would differ. No, the number of fields would differ. The number of fields would differ. Okay, let's take one more example and I'll tell that to you. Okay, Amazon. Okay, this is from Amazon. I'm just going to show original. This is an actual email, right? I'm just going to copy this. And now let me put it in another email header analysis. Now you see only SPF authenticated alignment has failed, but rest all looks fine. Now you see there's a difference, right? There's a lot of information in this. Right? There is some Mark II ID. Let's see if those things are there. So that Mark II ID and all is not there. That just means, you know, see, these are all some extra details which is there. That is because of the way the email header is. Okay. So that is not a worry. You don't have to worry about it. Doesn't mean that you have to get everything. No, it totally depends on your, totally depends on who is sending the email. What is the content in the email, right? Only that. So let's analyze this mail which we have got from Microsoft. Okay, so over here there are few things that you have to check. All right, first things first. So if you see, this is the from detail. This is the from detail, right?
So we have to go from down
Who
to
has
up then.
sent? I'm sorry.
So we have to analyze from down to up.
No, nothing like that. I'm just telling you few points, few what do you call fields that we can analyze, that we can actually you don't have to sit and see everything. Only few things for now is more than enough.
Written path and
Okay.
regulator.
Yeah. So one is where is that? Where was that? From. From. So this is from. All right. So usually what happens is people who send the email, right, the return path or the reply to will also be the same people. So when you respond, right, it should go to the same person. Apart from cases like, these no reply emails, apart from that, right, most of them, right, whenever you are being contacted, usually the from and the reply to will be the same. So as soon as you respond to this email, it goes to this person itself. Okay, but in some cases there will be a mismatch. Okay, this reply to will go to a different person altogether. All right, in such cases you can check, right, what this particular reply to email is. Right, you can just do a normal search. In this case it is the same. Okay, not a problem, but that doesn't mean that this is not suspicious just because the reply to path is same. Okay, so this should not be your only criteria is what I'm trying to say. This is one of the criteria you can check. Check whether the from address matches with the reply to address. Okay, check that. Second thing what you can check is you have the from, right? From, you see the domain, but when you check the message ID, you see a different domain altogether. Ideally, this should be Microsoft, right? Because it is sent from there. So if it is sent from there, you should be carrying the same domain, isn't it? Yes or no? So if you're sending out email from your organization, right? How does the email work? First of all, okay, forget about all these things. I'm going to explain this later. So this is your organization, right? SOCexperts.com. All right. And you're sending out an email from your organization out to someone else. All right. So when you're doing this, it passes through your email server, whatever you have set up, right? It passes through your email server, and your email server domain will also be, I'm just giving an example for SOC experts, right? Even this will have carry the same domain unless you're using some third party. If you're using the same email, which belongs to your organization, this will also be socexperts.com. Right? The email server domain will also be in the same thing, socexperts.com. For example, when you're sending out Gmail, what is happening in the backend? The email is sent through Gmail's email gateway or the email server, right? Yes or no? You have that understanding what happens when an email is sent? Yes or no?
Yes, Sudhir.
Others?
Can you please repeat again, please?
Yes,
Oh,
Sudhir.
give me a second. So this is you in the organization. All right. You draft, not an organization. Let's take over here only publicly. This is your Gmail. All right. You are, you are creating a new email. All right. You're creating a new email. This is a browser that you're using, right? You create a new email. You send that email, right? When you send that email, what happens is it contacts the Gmail server. It contacts the Gmail's email server. Why? Because you can't just directly send out an email, right? There is no way you can just directly send out an email. You have to configure all of these things. You have to configure. But for us, Gmail has done that. Gmail has configured its own email server. Email server. All right. So when you craft an email, when you send out an email, what happens is, okay, this is your email. You have typed that email and we are sending out the email. It passes through, it goes through the email server by Gmail and then it is sent to the internet. If this is your organization, you're going to open up your Outlook, right? See, let's say this is organization. All right. Let's take two examples. So in your organization, right, if you have to talk to someone internally, definitely, right, you will use whatever your organization probably uses. Probably they use Outlook client, right? So you will have Outlook installed on your systems, right? You will have Outlook, right? You will have Outlook. So you will open Outlook, your email, everything is set up. So to internally talk to people, what will you do? You will definitely use Outlook. Yes or no?
Yeah.
Will you use Gmail or Outlook to talk to people within your organization for your corporate,
Outlook.
transactions or, to talk to people? What do you use? Gmail or Outlook within your organization?
Official Outlook.
Outlook.
Definitely Outlook, right?
Yeah.
So definitely
Okay.
Outlook, right? So Outlook, definitely Outlook. So you'll open up Outlook, you will start drafting your email, right? Let's say you belong to a company called ABC. All right. So this is abc.com. All right. That's your company, right? So what happens when you type in a message and you send it? Your organization will have its own email server. So this email server belongs to abc.com. All right. It belongs to abc.com. All right. And when you send out an email through Outlook, so that is in your organization, it uses your organization same domain. That email passes through your email server, your organization's email server. Okay. But let's say you're talking to your friends, right? You're deciding on something. To talk to your friends, you use Gmail, of course not Outlook, right? For your personal, you use Gmail. So you, on the same system, you type a message in Gmail, right? And you send it. So where does it pass through? Whether it passes through your company's or Gmail's email server? How does it pass through? Where does it pass through? Where does the email go through? Whether it uses Gmail's email server or your company's email server.
Company's email server.
Email server.
Company's email server. Few of you said, one of you said company's email server. So no, it will not go through company's email server. It will go through Gmail server. Why? Because what is the domain? What is the domain? It is gmail.com.
Yeah.
It is gmail.com. right? What is the email? What is the domain which is carried out in the email that you have, what do you call, you have written through Outlook? What is the email that you have drafted through Outlook? Right? That carries the domain of abc.com. That is your company. This is your company, right? So your company will have its own email server, right? So whatever domain that you belong to, the email is sent through that email server. So your Gmail also, whenever you open up in the browser gmail.com and you're sending it through a browser, right? So this Gmail will always be sent through Gmail's email server. If you have Yahoo, again Yahoo will be sent through Yahoo's email server. Okay, so they follow their own email servers, and that is sent through that email server. This is sent through your organizational email server. Okay, even if you're sending it through anybody on the internet, let's say you're sending from Outlook to Gmail, even then, because your source from where it is originating, right, that is in my organization, that is my organization, because I'm using a Outlook client, I'm using Outlook, it is configured to use the domain. So whenever it is sent, it uses the email server, a company's email server, and it is sent across. Is this clear now? Yes, no,
Yeah.
repetition.
Yes, Shruti, it's clear.
If I want to send mail from my ABC to Gmail, yeah, so ABC, this is your Gmail server. So this is the end, he's saying from ABC to Gmail, right? So ABC, of course, this is your organization. You have to use Outlook or any client that your organization uses. It goes from here. It reaches the Gmail's email server because the end recipient belongs to Gmail domain, right? So it goes to Gmail's email server. Then it flows like this. Then the email goes. Okay, so that's how it flows. Okay, so what were we doing? So that's what we were analyzing the email header. So over here, what has happened is I'm sending, it says in the email that it is sent from mycorsoft.com. But if you see here, the message ID, it says something else only, mks.cz. That is what it says. So sorry, I closed that other page. Let me open if it is there. Oh. My bad. Okay, anyway, over here, this was the legitimate email, right? This was the legitimate email. So, so if you see here from Amazon Web Services, Amazon.com. If you check the message ID, you see here email.amazon.es.com. This is the email gateway, email server, which belongs to Amazon. This is the domain name, which is there. Do you see the difference now? It belongs to Amazon itself, right? But in our previous example, I'll just take this screenshot of this. Are you understanding my point, guys? Yes, no, maybe.
Yes, Shruti.
So if you compare between, this is Amazon's, right? This is the Amazon one. If you look at this, okay, this is the from marketing.amazon.com. If you look at the message ID as well, it belongs to Amazon domain itself. If you're not sure, you can just copy it. You can just copy this email.amazones.com and you can just put it in your virus total and check. It will belong to Amazon itself. What is it? Email.amazon.com.
Yeah.
All right, details. Amazon Technologies, it belongs to them. Amazon.com. Yes. Yes or no?
Yeah.
Belongs to them. So this is one way you can identify, right? So where was it? Amazon.com. Online shopping. Can't see that. But anyway, yeah. I was trying to check something. So where is it? Where is it? Amazon.com. It's all Amazon.com. It belongs to them. This is one way you can verify. But in our scenario, where is our over here, right? It is completely different. So we don't know what this is. This says Microsoft.com, but this is completely different. So what you can do, copy this. You can definitely copy that and go to your virus total or wherever you want to check and see what that is. In some cases, they could have bought that. One moment, where is it? In some cases, they need not use their own email server, right? They could be taking, probably they could be using someone else's services, right? In that case, there could be a difference. Okay, but always check what this is. Now we have checked in our virus total what it is. It says it belongs to some, it says phishing malicious. If you see details, it says known infection source. It is known for phishing and other frauds. You will get to know what this particular domain is actually doing. Why is it blacklisted? The actual details, right? So when you're not sure, please go ahead. If there is a mismatch, please go ahead, check this particular domain, what will be there in message ID, and message ID will be there in all the emails. This has to be there. Message ID will be there. Okay. If there is a mismatch, that is one of the red flag. And to confirm it, please go ahead, check this particular domain in virus total. Right? You will get to know you will get more information about that domain. Clear? So first thing not first thing, one of the things that you can check from address, reply to address, if there is a mismatch or not. Second thing, from address and the message ID, check the domain, right? From where it is actually being sent. Here it is saying Microsoft.com, but it is not actually sent from here. It is sent from a different domain which is known to send such phishing emails. Okay, so this is the one who has actually sent the mail, not this person, but this person who has actually sent the mail. All right, so you can get to know that. And of course, you see here, there are something called as SPF, right? And there's something called Google. You see this, there's some IP address over here. Is neither permitted nor denied, right? And where does it say? Client IP is equal to 101, right? You get this IP details either in received SPF or authenticated results, right? You get this details even over here, right? It says Google. There's some IP over here is neither permitted nor denied by best guess record for domain, this domain. I'll tell you what it all means. But first, let's check this particular IP. All right, you will see some IP. You can check that IP. Where will you check? IP abuse DB or your virus total, wherever you want, you can check. So put that IP over here and check. Okay, do you notice something here which you have already come across? Anything? Do you notice some familiar? Do you notice anything familiar that we discussed till now?
Host name.
Sorry?
Host name.
Absolutely. Right? This is the same domain that we saw from where the email is being sent. Yes or no?
Yes.
See here.
Yeah.
Isn't it the same? So what can we infer from here? What can we infer from here? That
Malicious.
means, yeah, malicious, but that means whenever you send out an email, right? When you send out an email, this email server's IP address will be tagged. So if this email server's IP, I mean, this is an internal IP, but they will also have a what you call a public IP, right? Because these are email servers, they have to send and receive, right? So let me put a public IP. Some example. All right. So when it carries the email, right? When it carries the email in the header information, it also carries from where I am sending this email. You will definitely have the domain details also and the IP details as well, right? So that's the reason the email was sent from mks.cz. All right. So if you check this IP address, it ideally should have been belonging to, it should ideally belong to microsoft.com, but it is not belonging to this. It doesn't belong to this. It belongs to mk.cz. Are you able to understand what I'm trying to say? So let's take this example of our Amazon, right? Amazon should also have, you see the client IP over here, 54. The same logic will apply over here also, the same logic. 54, 240, 1026. Isn't it? Received SPF, right? The same thing?
Yeah.
Yes or no?
That
Only if you say yes, that's when I'll go ahead. It is very
that
important that you understand all of it properly.
the client IP is server IP, sender server IP, right?
Sender server IP, right? So 54, 240, 1026. So that we'll check. 54, 240, 1026. Do you see Amazon.com? That means this mail, right? Says it is sent from Amazon.com. This is their email server, right? Whoever sends that email, and this IP also belongs to them. This IP also belongs to them. Everything is in place, right? Same Amazon, Amazon, Amazon. So whoever sends the email, okay, you are sending the email from your system, yes. Your system only you are sending, absolutely right. But it has to pass through the email server, right? That's when it carries, ideally, who is sending the email? Your email server. You are a person who is going to draft the email, everything, but the email will be actually be sent from the email server. So it will carry the email server's IP address and not your system. You will not see your system's IP address, right? It is sent via email server, right? So that is why it will carry this particular IP address. Now what is happening? In the email, it is saying that it is sent from abc.com, right? Microsoft.com. But when we check the IP address, it says it belongs to someone else. That means, let's say, this is that someone else. All right. Okay. In the email, it says abc.com, right? But when I check the IP address, it belongs to someone else. It belongs to this. That means what? This is not the actual person who has sent. It is sent from a different person. This is sent from a different domain. And that domain is your mks.cz. Too much to understand or confused?
I got the point, Stuti. I have one question. Is there any resource from where we can download few samples to test it out?
I'm sorry, I did not get that. Is there any?
Uh, is there any sample out there, like a malicious sample on which we can work on, like to test the headers and everything?
Malicious sample, you have to create your own. I'll give you the email ID. So I will tell you. Then how Microsoft.com, that is because I won't be able to show that to you guys because it is blocked because of Norton. So there is this thing called as uh, that is MK only. mks.cz fake emailer. Okay. So here I will show you in images better. I won't be able to open this. It is blocked for me. So this is blocked. So I'll see, continue to the site. I have to do all of these things. So I don't want to do it. Right. So I'll show the images. Okay, you guys will be able to open it. You can just go through that. So here, if you see, just going, this is how it looks like. This is how it looks like. So you asked me, right? How did I give mycoursesoft.com? You can give any name that you want over here from email ID, but you won't be able to spoof all the email IDs. I will tell you why. Okay. You guys can also actually check this particular website. Okay, it's called EMKEI. Okay, so you can give any name that you want from email address. Okay, and then whatever you want, you can add the attachment, malicious links, right, and then send it. That's how I have sent mycoursesoft.com. I can give any name, but ideally, where is it going through? It is going through MK's email server. Understood now?
Yes.
Okay, I'll do one thing. Can one of you share your screen, please? Can you open up this particular website and share your screen?
Sorry, excuse me, ma'am.
Yep.
So if you check the IP and the domain name is different, it means probably they stole the IP, right?
They didn't steal the IP. See, so the thing is, right? So ideally, whoever sends the email, their IP address is what you will see over here. Okay, so what it actually means is that, where is this? What it actually means is that this IP address, where is our IP address? This IP address and this domain doesn't match, because if it is an actual Microsoft email, right, this IP address would be belonging to Microsoft. But unfortunately, this is not from Microsoft. It is sent from MK's, right? It is sent from this, and that is the IP address that you see. So whoever sends the email address, you will, whoever sends the email, right? We saw over here, right? Whoever sends this particular email, you will see their IP address. So you can't say someone is stealing your email ID. No, IP address. No, whoever sends the email, their IP will be seen.
Okay, so what happens if the domain name is different when you check the IP?
You mean to say when you check the IP, this domain is different?
Yes.
That will not happen, because this domain, this is the one who is sending the email, and because of this IP has been, they've got this particular IP. So there won't be a mismatch with this and this.
No, what I'm saying is if you look up in MX Toolbox, right, and you find a particular domain, and after getting the IP from that same, and you go to check the IP, and you now see that the domain name you have is different.
Correct, I understood your point. So this IP, when I check over here, you're telling, what if it is different domain, if it is not this domain, right?
Yes.
It is not this domain, it is some other domain, the IP.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, but so that's what I'm saying. That will never be the case, because this
Okay.
IP, whatever you see, will be the IP. I mean, the domain, whatever you see here, it would belong to them. That is why you're seeing this IP.
Okay.
So what happens is, when the email is carried out, right, from the email server, right, there are two things. The message ID will have the domain name of the person who is sending the email. So who is that person? abc.com. All right. And it will also carry the IP address corresponding to this. So whatever domain it is, whatever the IP it is, it will carry that only. So over here also, if you see, MK is the domain, this is the IP address, this is a combination which is already there and it is showing up in two different fields. That's it. In message ID, you will see the domain. The same domain's IP address is what you will see over here. So there won't be a mismatch with this and this. Why? Because this is the same person who is sending the email. One is the host name of that, one is the IP address of that. That's it. Confusing?
Yes. Yes.
Right.
Thank you.
Okay, so now what happened was it was my system, right? It was my system. Actually, I sent it through my phone. All right. So whatever, let's say I've opened it on my browser and I'm sending the email. So ideally, how did I send it? I went to MK's fake email generator. I gave the from email address as microsoft.com, but you guys do not know that. You guys did not know that, right? So in the mail, when we receive this email, where is my email? Lot of tabs. Sorry for that confusion. So this was the email, right? This was the actual email. So when we saw this email, by looking at this, we thought that it is coming from microsoft.com, right? By looking at it, only by looking at it, right? So by looking at the email, right, we got to know it is from microsoft.com. But when we analyze the header, we will get to know where it is actually coming from. All right, only in the email over here it says microsoft.com, but when we actually see the email header, we will get to know. So actually when you saw the email header, what has happened here in the email header? In the email header, you have seen the message ID. Looking at the message ID, you see it is coming from a different domain. And this is the IP address of that domain. This 101. Why? Because as soon as the mail is sent, right, whoever sends the mail, their domain and their IP gets added. Whoever sends the mail, right, their domain name and their IP gets added. So there cannot be a mismatch between this domain name and this IP because it is the same. Understanding my point now? So this is the IP address which belongs to this particular email server, this particular domain. This is MK's email server. So what has happened? By looks of it, you see it is come from Microsoft.com. But when you actually analyze, you will get to know that it is not sent from Microsoft. It is sent from another email gateway, which is mks.cz. The domain is mks.cz and the IP is what you see over here. Okay, so this is the same person. In one place you see the domain of that person, in one place you see the IP address of that person. There won't be a mismatch between this. If you want, you can open up your Gmail. All right, let's check another email. All right, if there's a confusion regarding that, right, let's check another one. So this is LinkedIn. All right, this is not Amazon, this is LinkedIn. I'm going to say show original. I'm going to copy this, right? I'm going to go to my what is that? MX toolbox. I'm going to go to analyze headers. Put it over here. Analyze the header. Right, everything is compliant. It says, let's scroll down. So what was it? We was looking for message ID, right? Message ID and sender. That is sender from. What is from? From. So you see here from linkedin.com, message ID prod.linkedin.com. All right, and there should be some IP address associated with it. Okay, so this is a IPv6. Or no. Anyway, this we cannot check over here in use IPDB. We'll take another example. Quora. Why is Karan Johar angry at Karyan Karthik? Why am I bothered about it? But yes, they want to send such emails. Anyway, copy to clipboard. Analyze header. Right? We'll put it over here. Analyze the header. Where is this? Message ID, quoramail.com. Sender, that is from quora.com. Yeah, quoramail.com. This is their mail server, right? So if you see, where is the IP address? IP address is here, 52. Okay. 52. It belongs to Amazon. They might be taking Amazon services. Yes. Amazon, it says Amazon, but if you see here, why it is saying Amazon? Because yes, they are the service providers. That's why you will see Amazon.com. But see here, it belongs to Quora. Yes. Yes or no? Now is the confusion okay? Because now you're seeing Amazon.com. That doesn't mean it's a mismatch because they are the service providers. Quora is hosted on that. You know, they are using their they're using Amazon. They are the ISPs, but you will be able to see it belongs to Quora.com. Okay. Yes, no, maybe. Confusion still?
Yes.
Yeah.
What do we do about IPv6?
Sorry, IPv6, you have to check if there is, I don't think this will take IPv6, is only IPv4. Okay, there's IPv6 also, we can check that. I think we can check that in IP abuse only.
Okay, so what happens if the message ID, that's the domain name in the what do you call it now? In the header analyzed, if it's different from the host name that you have in IP in abuse IPD.
Sorry, the IP address from here is different from?
Not the IP address now. The host name. If the host name in abuse IPD is different from the message ID that you have.
See, it's basic. No, the thing is, right, whatever information you get over here, right, there'll be a complete information to whom does that belong to. So that's what I'm saying. Where is it? Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. So this message ID over here, the domain, whatever you see, the IP, whatever you see here, right? This IP will always belong to this domain. This is together. There's nothing but like I showed in this diagram, right? Whatever the email server is, the domain, right? let's say this is that MKS domain itself, right? That will have an IP address, right? So the same details will be there in the email header. So you won't see a mismatch of that. They might be using a different email service, email provider, like how we saw in Amazon's case, right? So Quora is using Amazon services, but it belongs to Quora itself. Quora, the provider is Amazon, but it belongs to Quora. All right, so there won't be a mismatch. There will never be a mismatch because it is the same IP, same domain which is carried out.
Okay.
If you want, you can check in your, you can check, you will see multiple mails in your Gmail, right, from various people. So we have checked from Amazon, it is the same. Quora, it's the same. So LinkedIn, it is a IPv6, right? I have never checked the IPv6. This is the first time. Where is IPv6? Right, so not sure it's complete one or what. So see here, it says linkedin.com.
Okay.
Our email was here. If you see message ID, it says product.linkedin.com, right? This is also from LinkedIn. And if you check this with the IP, whatever is here, IPv6, right? If you check, even that belongs to LinkedIn. That means it has been actually be sent from LinkedIn itself. So the domain, what you see here, and the IP, it is nothing but the IP associated with this domain. Whatever this domain is, the same IP is what you see here.
Okay. So, but sorry, last question. If in the MX toolbox, right, the delivery information, you have about 5 items. So let's assume that every other thing was passed and DKIM authentication failed.
Yeah. So you want to know what is DKIM failed?
Yeah, assuming that fails.
Yeah, I will tell you. First, we'll go through the header, and then I have to tell you these two things. These two are very important, SPF and DKIM. Okay, so I will tell you that. So before that, I just wanted to tell you guys about these things.
Okay.
Yeah, so from message ID and the return path, this is different, right? This is LinkedIn's. So I'm going to close this. Let it be there. We might need it, right? So over here. So return path, the from the message ID. Where is message ID? Message ID. And in the SPF, right over here in authenticated results or in your SPF, received SPF, you'll get to know the IP address, right? You can check this from where actually the email is coming. All right, so these are few things that you can check in the header. All right, is this clear to everybody? If this is clear, then I'll go to SPF and DKIM. Any doubts? Any confusions?
Reply to and return path is same. I mean,
Sorry?
reply to and return path both are same.
Same. Yeah. So Deepak, we can able to mask from email ID and reply email ID, but we can't mask. Yeah, exactly. Because message ID is what gets added on when you are sending an email, right? It is sent through that particular message server, right? Email server. So the email ID gets, the message ID gets added there. Yes, you can just spoof. You can just spoof the name, whoever is sending and all of it. I showed right from that tool. You can always spoof, but you cannot. Uh, Over here, you can spoof of someone else. All right, but actually, when you analyze, you will get to know from where it is, from where the email is actually being sent. Okay, so you guys can use this and try to send out emails, but I will tell you some emails. So you can't put microsoft.com and send. You can try doing that. Okay, you can put some email ID over here, right? From email ID hr@microsoft.com and 2 as your own email ID. Try to send. You will not get the email. I will tell you why. The reason I'll tell you. Okay, that is the only reason people use typo squatted domain. Now the reason is I could have shown you guys as the email is from mycourseof.com, right? God, where is it? Yeah, for the sake of understanding, for the sake of analyzing fish email, I could have sent it as microsoft.com instead of mycourseof.com. But you cannot spoof microsoft.com's email ID, right? That's the reason people use typo squatted domain. So by looks of it, you feel that okay, it is from microsoft.com, right? So you can try that out later today, but you won't be able to send it. I will tell you why. So that is where your SPF and your DKIM come into picture. All right, that is where it comes into picture. So this is the one, right? Yeah. So is everybody clear here? Everybody clear till here? Any doubts? This is very important, right?
Clear.
So yes. Sorry, someone was saying anything?
Clear.
Clear, clear. Okay. How about others? Rahul, Pooja, Chandru, Mohammed sir, Kedar.
Yeah,
All
it's
clear?
yeah, it's all clear. Very good explanation.
Okay, thanks. So, okay. So this is what we see from header. Now, in your interviews also, they might ask you when you're talking about phishing, please tell them there are two things that you do, email header analysis and the content. All right, for header, always go ahead, mention about SPF and DKIM. Even not DKIM, talk about SPF and they will tell you they will ask you what is SPF. You can just initially tell, you will see the SPF, whether it is, SPF alignment and DKIM alignment, whether it is failed or passed. And the next question will definitely be what is SPF, what is DKIM. All right. So what is that? We will see. So if you scroll down, right, you just click on this also, it will tell you SPF record. You see here, SPF record published, no SPF record found. It says no SPF record found. So what is this SPF? It is sender policy framework, but what it actually does is, I've kind of already explained that to you guys. Okay, so let this come here because this is our bad actor who is sending out the emails. So he'll be here. Mail. All right. Now the email. Now the email, right? It says it is sent from Microsoft.com, right? The email is sent. The email will be sent, right, to my Gmail. So there'll be another Gmail receiver over here. Give me one quick minute. I will. This belongs to Gmail. Okay, so this belongs to Gmail. This belongs to mycoursesoft.com. All right, this is MCase. All right, so now this email was drafted. Okay, now it was drafted. All right, now looking at the email, we thought that it is received. It has been received in my Gmail box. Yes, right. By looking at it, I got to know that it is sent from mycoursesoft.com, right? By the looks of it only. But when I actually checked, right? When I actually checked the header, right? It had some other IP address, right? It had a different domain name, right? This is what we saw. But you see here, how did these, if you look at this sentence, right? If you look at this sentence, what can you understand? They are telling this particular IP is neither permitted nor denied, right, for the domain Microsoft.com. You understand this? This particular IP is neither permitted nor denied for the domain Microsoft.com. What does this mean? So that means they are checking some record. They're trying to match this IP with Microsoft.com. Are they matching with Microsoft.com or this message ID? What are they matching with? They're matching with the from ID. They've got this Microsoft.com from the from ID, right? And they are matching this particular IP address from the from ID. Yes or no? You guys check it for yourself, right? It says it is picking up that IP address from where it is being sent, right? From where it is being sent, they're picking up the IP address and they're matching this with respect to the from ID, not from message ID. Yes or no? See, hr@microsoft.com and the IP address. Why? Because they're trying to verify whether this is the actual person who is sending the email or not. They know this is the actual person who is sending the email, right? So it doesn't make sense if I match this particular IP with this, because this IP address belongs to that domain. But they are trying to match that with this because this person is posing as Microsoft.com. This person can be posed. This person can pose as anybody. This person can pose as Facebook.com as well, right? So this can be anything. So that is why, what is this check happening? It checks the IP address, whatever of this domain, with whatever you're posing as. So let's say you enter a building, right? Let's say Irshad enters a building and he's posing as Deepak. But to verify, only by looks of it, let's say these two people look alike and he's posing as Deepak. But to verify, they will definitely ask your ID or Aadhaar, some identification number. So if Irshad is posing as Deepak, right, will you check Deepak's ID or will you check Irshad's ID? To verify if that is person, to verify that person, right, will you check Deepak's ID or Irshad's ID?
Deepak ID.
Irshad.
The thing, yeah, okay. So the thing is here, let's take it as Irshad, let's take it as Deepak. All right. So Deepak's ID is there with these people. Deepak's ID is there with the person who is trying to check. All right. Irshad gets into the office telling that he is Deepak. All right, to verify, they will definitely ask Irshad's ID because they have Deepak's ID. They have the IP address of this person. MK's IP address is already there. So they will ask Irshad's ID because they have Deepak's ID. They're going to compare, right? They will compare. Similarly, over here, Microsoft.com, right? The IP address of the actual sender these guys have. But they have to verify whether that IP address belongs to Microsoft or not. So that is what they are doing here. So they are checking against the sender ID, the from ID or the sender, right? So they are checking if this IP belongs to Microsoft.com. So what is happening here is whenever you set up a server, whenever you set up an organization, right, you will definitely have an email server set up, right? Because you need an email server to send and receive emails, right? So there is something called as a DNS record. Yes or no? DNS record?
Yeah.
You will have a DNS record, right? That will be published. That will definitely be published. So in this DNS record, there will be something called as SPF record. The SPF record. So what is this SPF record? This, let me tell you, this is publicly available. Okay, the DNS records, is all publicly available. Where will you get that? Virus total. Where is our virus total? Sorry, too many tabs. I have to close tabs. I'm getting confused. I'm getting confused. Where is virus total? Virus total is not there. Okay. Virus total. When you go to details, where is their DNS details?
Why it is showing this URL is malicious?
Somebody, I mean, they might have sent some, phishing mails or something. Many people use, right? So this is with particular to some email ID or something, I guess. So. Sorry, I forgot what I was doing. Okay, anyway. EMKEI. EMKEI. Do you see this DNS records? This is publicly available, right? Anybody has access to this. So, do you see this? MX record?
Yeah.
This is the MX record. So, this is the email, right? mail.mks.cz. They will have a different, they'll have multiple names. I've just mentioned it, right? So, now that SPF record will have details about the server who is allowed to send email on your behalf. All right. So that means when you're setting up the server, right, you have set up your organization, you have set up the email server, you may publish the SPF record. Usually it is always better to publish the SPF record. Why? Because to do this verification, whatever we did here, right, to do this verification, now they are unable to verify because it is neither permitted nor denied, because there is nothing. If you see here, there is no SPF record at all. So it totally depends. You need not have an SPF record. If you don't have an SPF record, anybody can spoof Microsoft.com. That's why people are able to spoof Microsoft.com, but not actual Microsoft.com. I will tell you. So in this SPF record, what they have to do is they have to publish their email server's public IP. So let's say the public IP of this is, 100.2.3.4. There'll be multiple, right? So, 12.13. I'm just giving examples. Okay. What do they do? What does this organization does is, right? They have published their IP addresses of email server. This domain belongs to Microsoft.com. Okay, Microsoft.com, and these are the IP addresses who are authorized to send email. Let's say, for example, I am trying to send out a parcel to Kedar. Okay, I'm trying to send out a parcel to Kedar, and I tell Kedar, hey Kedar, I'm going to send you a parcel. So if you receive anything from Amazon, from from a person, I'm sending, right? So from Stuti, if it is from Stuti and I am sending it only from Amazon, then accept it. Okay, so this is what I have already told Kedar. So if Kedar receives a parcel from any other third party service, right, he will know that no, this is not sent by Stuti. Why? Because Stuti has already told that she will be sending the parcel only from Amazon. Yeah, so even if he receives another parcel which says it is sent from Stuti, but it is sent from another, like say flipkart.com, right? He will understand that no, this is not sent from Stuti. Yes or no? Because I've already told only Amazon is authorized to send parcels on behalf of me. Only if you get parcel from Amazon, then it is me. Otherwise, it is not me. Yes or no? Understanding this, everybody?
Yes, right. So
So
SPF record like validates this thing. So,
yeah,
but it is not compulsory to create the SPF record. But
yeah, it's not compulsory.
yeah,
But
but
if at all, I want to see, I don't want people to be sending out, parcels from my name. Some people might send out some, some, and I'm I'm just saying, to harm some person. Some person has, uh, what do you call it, send some unwanted parcels from my name. I don't want that to happen. So I will tell I have a tie up with Amazon. So whatever that is being sent from Amazon, if you receive it and it also says that it is sent from me, only then accept it. Only then I will take the responsibility that this is sent from me, not from any other person, right? So it totally depends if you want that, right? So what this person, now Microsoft has not done this. That is the reason they're able to, they're saying that there is no SPF record found, right? If at all Microsoft had, published their IP addresses, their IP addresses means the email server's IP address. So this email server,
Stuti.
just give me 1 second. Let me just complete this. So they would have published the email IP addresses in the SPF record. All right. So when the email goes, so the email is going and the Gmail has got it. When you analyze the email header, right? If there is a match, now it is saying, looking at the email from IP address, right? It says it's from Microsoft.com. And it also checks the IP address over here. Over here, there's an IP address, right? In the email header, we saw there was an IP address. Correct? So what it is doing, it is checking that IP address with the from email. I mean the domain. It looks up to the Microsoft.com's DNS record, wherein it will have the SPF record. It will check the SPF record where the IP addresses will be mentioned. Okay, it will go and check. So now if there is a match, it will let the email go through. If there is no record, if it is not a match, the email will not go through. The email will be dropped. Understanding? Now what it does is, as soon as this email server has received the email, it will check, it will go and check from where is this email coming from. So by the looks of it, it is coming from, what is this? 101 blah 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 IP, and in the from, it says it is sent from Microsoft.com. So what the emails, what it does, it goes and checks Microsoft.com's SPF record. So SPF record, let's say Microsoft had actually put up the Microsoft.com had actually put up the IP addresses. Okay, so it goes and checks whether it is the same. If it is a match, it sends. Now in this case, what has happened? It has gone and checked, right? It has gone and checked. It says that 101 is neither permitted nor denied. It is because the SPF record itself is not there. SPF record itself is not there, right? So it has anyway forwarded the mail. It has anyway sent that mail. There is no record itself, so it cannot actually say whether it is genuinely sent from that person or not. Is this clear till here, everybody? So this is the SPF record. SPF record is nothing but it contains the IP addresses of the sender email. So the allowed, those people who are allowed to send emails on your behalf. The IP addresses of people who are allowed to send emails on your behalf. So this is my email server. They are allowed to send email on my behalf. I'm going to put up their IP addresses over here. Yeah, sorry, someone was saying, I just stopped them in between.
Yeah, Stuti, can you please take attendance? I want to go office, please.
Sorry, please tell me your name. I'll mark your attendance. I'll mark the attendance later because I have to complete this. It's very important. So who is it? Just tell me.
Swapna. Swapna Shahani.
I'll mark that. No problem.
Okay,
I'll
can
take
I
the
go?
attendance. Yeah, please. I'll take the attendance after I complete this. So yeah.
Okay, yeah, fine. Then I'll go.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so is this understood? What is SPF? What is the SPF record? Everybody.
Yeah, it's understood, but like I have one query. Like Gmail is a very big company, and they are not using this security something, email security kind of thing. Like if something is not up to the mark, like SPF record is not there, then that mail should be dropped. It
I'll tell
should
you
not
why that
reach.
mail was not dropped. I'll tell you why that mail was not dropped. Why?
Okay.
Because if you have looked at my email, that has not come to my inbox. It has gone to spam.
Okay. So spam, it is going to
It's gone
spam.
to
Okay.
spam. First of all, it has gone to spam. And the reason why
Mm-hmm.
I've received is it depends on this person. It depends on this person. Sorry, this is Microsoft. It depends
Mm-hmm.
on this person. So, email header, right? There is something called MX lookup. Okay. Let's say I'll tell you, I'll actually check Microsoft's now. MICRO Microsoft. Okay. I'll check Microsoft.com's MX lookup. MX record will have all your email records. Okay. So that is what is MX record. That's why it is MX toolbox, right? If you see here, so this is the SPF record. Whatever you see here, right? This is the SPF record.
Okay.
And this is how an SPF record looks like. So these are the people who are allowed to send mails on behalf of Microsoft.com.
Okay.
Domains or IP, it could have anything. Okay, and at the last, you see this hyphen all.
Okay.
This is very important. This hyphen. This means anybody apart from this, if at all they send an email, anybody apart from these people, if they send an email, drop that email. Drop that email. So here,
Okay.
we don't have anything for Microsoft at all. There is no SPF record at all for it to drop or allow. There is nothing. So it just goes, but it drops into your spam folder. If at all you had a strict policy like how Microsoft has, that's called a hard fail. That's called a hard fail.
Raw mail to Surek.
I'm sorry. Okay, so you see here, right? Hyphen all. This hyphen plays a very important role. If you see this hyphen, that means it's a hard fail. Hard fail means anybody apart from these people, if they send mail, drop the mail straight away. Drop the mail straight away. Don't even think about forwarding the mail because it is not sent by us. Somebody is trying to spoof. It is not us. Drop the mail. Check another company, facebook.com. Oh, they don't have anything. So we might have to check whether we can spoof and send. Let's try it out. Now I cannot try because of the time constraint. You guys can check it out. Let's check Infosys. Infosys is an Indian company, MNC, right? So, see here, they have put the IP addresses over here, right? So these are the allowed set of IP addresses who can send emails on behalf of Infosys.com. On behalf of Infosys. And if you see here, do you see it's a hard fail? Okay. So if at all you try to spoof Infosys.com, if you try to spoof hr@infosys.com, you won't be able to send because only these people are allowed to send emails on their behalf. On their behalf. Understanding now? So that's
Yes,
the reason
right.
we have got the mail, because Microsoft, first of all, it doesn't have, sorry, what did I do? Sorry. Infosys Limited, right? It all belongs to Infosys, right? And these are the only people who are allowed to send email. Anybody apart from this, it's called a hard fail, right? Anybody apart from this, it is going to fail. So there is something called soft fail. Soft fail means there will be a different symbol. I think it's that wavery symbol will be there. That this symbol, the approximate symbol, right? This symbol will be there. That means it's a not a hard fail, it's a soft fail. That means it will say the SPF alignment has failed, but the email will go through. But when you check the email header, it would say that, the SPF alignment is failed. Okay, there is no match, but still the email goes through. It might go to your junk mail or a spam mail because there is no alignment. In this case, there is no SPF record at all. Is this understood? The SPF, the concept of SPF? Everybody?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So SPF assignment and authentication. There are two things. Huh?
Alignment, no, it's just called alignment. Okay, it's the same
Alignment
thing
and
basically.
authenticated.
It's nothing but the same thing. SPF
Okay.
aligned, whether it is aligned or not, it is just authenticating whether those servers or the domain is authorized to send mails from on your behalf or not. That's it.
Okay. So
Okay, so that's
both terminology are same. Uh, alignment and authenticated.
I didn't understand what terminology as in.
Yeah, this SPF alignment and SPF authenticated, both things are same. There should be some
There
difference.
would be some, alignment is nothing but, let's say even here, right, DKM, so
Yeah.
whether it is aligned to the SPF, what do you call, if they have I don't know, like an SPF, like a record that is maintained or that is aligned to those set of, uh, these are all actually authentication protocols, right? So if it is aligned to that or not is what alignment talks about, I guess. And authenticated is nothing but whether you're authorized to send. So it talks about whether your those IP addresses are authorized to send whatever you see here, this IP address, whether it is authorized to send on your behalf, on Microsoft behalf. I think it's just that. You don't have to,
Okay.
like I to be frank, like actual difference, even I don't know. Maybe you'll have to figure it out, but you don't have to go so much in deep. You can just talk about it as SPF and DKIM. So that
Okay.
this whatever I've explained, that is what it actually means. That is the whole thing about SPF.
What is the full form of this SPF?
Sender policy framework.
Okay, center policy framework.
Okay, now please don't ask me the full form of DMARC. Please Google it. It's a huge thing. Even I don't remember it completely. DKIM is next thing. It's domain key. Full form again, you guys have to find out. Domain.
It's a domain key
box.
identified mail.
Sorry.
Domain key identified mail is the DKIM.
So you have the full form. So that is DKIM. So let's understand what is DKIM. DKIM is
Shruti, I
this.
have one doubt.
Yes.
Shruti, like if we spoof the mail and we send to that one person, and the receiver will receive the mail in inbox or in spam or junk.
That's what. If it again, it depends on how your receiver email gateway is set up. Okay. So it depends on how they are configured. In some cases, it performs this check, and if at all it thinks that this is a mismatch, the email gets blocked, or it might go to your spam or junk folder. Okay, like for example, on my Gmail, now the alignment was not there. The email went through, but Gmail decided that since there's a mismatch, I'm going to put it to the spam or the junk folder. Some emails are identified at your email gateway. They send it to your junk folder. It will be sent to your junk folder. Some are not, so it goes to your inbox. Like your marketing emails and all, right? It is not actually a suspicious or a malicious email. Such mails, you might get it in your inbox itself. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, guys, sorry, I'll have to extend today for another 15 minutes. Alright, I'm very sorry, but I have to complete DKIM. It is another important one. It won't take much time. Is that okay?
Shruti, can you put me in attendance? I'm getting late for the office.
Yes, please. Your name? Sorry.
My name is Muhammad Ali Amir.
Sorry?
Muhammad Ali Amir.
Shruti, better you can take attendance, right? It will be good right now.
I don't mind taking attendance. Yeah, fine.
Yeah,
I'll take
because many
attendance.
people will leave.
Oh, okay,
Yes,
fine.
yes,
I'll take.
yes.
Why is there so much importance to attendance? I'm just asking. I don't know. Like, are you tracked for something?
Hey, we are not sure, Shruti, because from the beginning, you guys started taking the attendance.
Okay.
So we thought it will be very important.
Okay, fine. All
If
right.
you are not bothered about also, it's okay
Maybe
for
to
us.
track only, but yeah, I don't know. Let's see. Anyway, I've logged into Magic SOC portal. Please, all of you log in too. Swapna has attended. Oh, I was supposed to share something with you guys. I forgot. So I will share some. There's something called as what is it? What is it?
So tomorrow is your class or not there? Like, do you
No,
have
today's my
class?
last class. Today's my last class.
Okay. Okay, got it.
Tomorrow, who is going to take the class, madam?
Tomorrow, I think Anand sir or Arjun, one of these guys might take because it is a CV preparation class. Right, tomorrow, the CV
So
preparation
they
class.
will prepare the CV for us.
I'm sorry?
They are going to prepare the CV for us.
No, you have to prepare CV for yourself, but they'll tell you how to prepare.
Okay, madam. Okay.
So there's also this something called trainer survey. All right. So I'm going to post it in the group after some time. Right. Please be frank. Give whatever rating that you would want. So I totally forgot about this. I was supposed to share it yesterday. Okay.
Attendance is ready now?
Yes, mine is ready. You guys have to tell me. If you're ready, I'll.
Yes, we are ready.
Okay, I've initiated the attendance, guys. So Swapna, right? Swapna was there. I'll just inform S3. Yeah, you can mark your attendance. I feel like you guys attend because of the attendance. I hope that's not the case.
Yeah, it's done, Suti.
Okay, thank you. Please mark your attendance.
I think attendance is nothing. Like our knowledge is everything.
More important is the knowledge.
Yeah.
We are not getting any salary. Marking.
So I'll just take 10 or 15 minutes of your time. I'm very sorry. I know most of you are working.
Yeah, not an
right?
issue.
If whoever wants to leave can leave the class. All right. If you're getting late for office or some other work, please leave the class. But anyway, since it's recording, you can go back, go through the recording. Any doubts, you can reach out to me. No problem. Okay. So, Amir, you've marked your attendance, right?
So if you don't mind,
Yes, I'm
can we
done with the
call?
attendance.
How we can reach you like after these classes? Like if we have
WhatsApp.
suppose.
You have my WhatsApp number.
Okay, fine. So on WhatsApp we can leave a message to you
Yeah,
because
definitely.
sometime we
People
will.
do. Yeah,
Okay.
people do. They ask me doubts over WhatsApp now. So yeah.
Okay, good. Thank you very much.
That's it. Okay, fine. So let me continue. If it's done, I'll start with DKIM. So DKIM, shall I proceed or you need a minute or so?
No, you
No,
can start.
proceed, ma'am.
Proceed.
All right. So SPF is here I had explained. So SPF is clear, right? So it's nothing but the IP addresses will be published publicly. So when the email is sent through, right? Anyway, it passes through the cloud, of course. The receiver email, right? They are going to check everything. They're going to check, compare the domain it is coming and the IP address, right? The IP address, they're going to go back and check in their record if at all the IP, if there is a mismatch in the IP or not. Okay, why, where will they go? Which DNS will they go? Since the email, it says it is sent by Microsoft.com, they go to Microsoft.com's records and they check, because all those things are publicly available, and they check whether the IP what they see matches that. If it matches, well and good. It is, yes, sent from the actual person. Yes, there's a match. The message goes through. If at all these people, right, if at all, like for our actual Microsoft.com, right, if you actually try to spoof and send, the email will not go through. Why? Because they have put a hard fail, that -all. Anybody apart from these people, if they are trying to send a mail, do not send that mail. Just drop off that mail. Okay, in some cases, people do not care to publish it. In such cases, it might go to spam, it might go to junk folder, right? That is the thing that can happen. So that is your SPF. Now coming to DKIM. So DKIM also, right? So this is nothing but signature. Now we know SPF, what does it tell you? It tells you this is the actual person who is sending the email. The person, right? It will authenticate like, this is the actual person who's sending the email. But what happens if this email in between this, because it goes through the internet, right? What happens if in between something, the email is tampered, right? So there must be a check for that also. So that is your DKIM. That is your DKIM check. So if you see here, even DKIM signature is also not found, right? It says signature. It talks about something called as a signature, right? So this DKIM is for checking the integrity. I hope you all understand what is the integrity of the email. That means that email was not actually, uh, was not changed.
Originality
The
of the
content.
data.
Correct. Yes.
Originality of
The
the content.
content can be verified, right? The content can be verified. Yeah, nobody has tampered the data, right? So that's why you have DKIM in place. Okay, so what happens over here is this DKIM, this DKIM, the concept, what is happening over here, the domain owner, that means our SOC experts, in our example, it is the Microsoft.com. They should have added some kind of a DKIM record. They should add a DKIM record. Anyway, in this case, it is not there, but I'll just take an example. Okay. So they will add a DKIM record. That is basically nothing but they'll be adding something called as a signature. They'll be adding something called as a signature. So this signature is nothing but some kind of a hash value. They will create this hash value using the components of the mail. So whatever is there in an email, probably the sender details, right? Anything, right? So it could be a combination of multiple things in the mail. All right, they will add all of this and they will create a hash. Okay, they will create a hash, and this person, the domain guy, right, whoever owns the domain, what they do is once they given that signature, it could be anything, the hash, they're going to sign this with private key.
So that hash value will be the unique for each email, or it will be something?
It could be, it is unique for, no, it won't be unique for each email, no. So whatever policy is set from your domain, right? Whatever signature is set, it is going to use the same thing. It is going to use the same set of components. It is going to create a hash of that, all right, and it is going to encrypt it.
Okay.
Going to encrypt with a set of DKIM keys. Okay, DKIM keys. That is nothing but your, private DKIM key, right? It is going to encrypt with the private DKIM key, and the public one will be over here. So the public one can be verified over here. This is the receiver, right, over here. So I will tell you. So as soon as the message, right, the message leaves, right, all of this is added to the email. All right, to your email header, the DKIM signature is added. The signature is nothing but a hash value, right, which is encrypted using the DKIM key, the private key. Okay, the private key, that is what it is done. It is hashed, it is encrypted. The hash is encrypted using the private key. Okay, and all of this information is added to the email header, and the email carries all of this information over here, over the cloud. It reaches the email server. Now over here, it performs the same checks. It performs the same check. What does it do? It goes to, now we have know that, looking at the from address, it says Microsoft.com. So Microsoft.com is the domain, right? It goes to that public domain. It goes to the DNS records of that domain. All right. This DNS records will have everything: DKIM record, SPF record, MX record, everything. So we check that in the virus total, right? So these are the DNS record. It has MX record. It has A record. All of those records will be there. It is publicly available. Correct? So it goes ahead, checks in Microsoft.com's DNS record. Okay. So what does it check? It goes and check, in this case, the public DKIM key, because it has the private, it has the email is signed with a private key. To verify that, the integrity is not lost, right, it has to go check the public key, right? It goes ahead, checks the public key, it takes the public key, it tries to decrypt the data. All right, if there is a match, if there is a public private key match, if it happens, well and good, it is integrity is maintained, and your DKIM passes, the DKIM check passes. If not, I'm not saying the mail gets dropped, no, it all depends on how it is configured, right? If not, you will just get a mail like this, I mean a message like this over here, saying either it has failed, or in this case there is no signature only found. Why? Because it is not signed. It is not signed, and there is no SPF record, there is no DMARC record, nothing is there. This my Microsoft guys, they have not done anything, right? They have not set up anything, right? So it has gone to check, it has received the mail, it has gone to check, there is nothing over here, there is no key published. If at all there were key published, right, so it would go take the public key, right, try to see if this was a match. It was a match, then well and good, it is a email which was not tampered, it has come from the right person. There is none, I mean, so SPF also has passed, DKIM has also passed. Okay, is this clear? So DKIM is nothing but a signature which gets added on, right? That signature is nothing but something like a hash value. That hash is encrypted using a private key. It's actually a private and a public key pair, right? So it is encrypted with that. And along with this, all the message, I mean, it gets added onto the email header. It is sent, right? This guy verifies everything. How does he verify? So it checks the from address. From, it says it has come from Microsoft.com. It goes to Microsoft.com's DNS server. It checks the publicly available DKIM key. It gets that, tries to decrypt it. It tries to check if there is a match. The key matches, then well and good. Otherwise, depending on what the alignment is, It might either, it will check both SPF, DKIM, everything. So on the whole, it doesn't check only this, only that. If you see here, on the whole, it is called DMARC. On the whole, it is called DMARC. So if your SPF is right, DKIM is right, your DMARC will be aligned. So DMARC is nothing but SPF plus DKIM is your DMARC. All right. So if these two also pass, then well and good, the email is sent. Otherwise, it might go through your junk folder, or depending on the hard fail or soft fail, the email get dropped in the first place itself. Is that
Okay,
clear?
right. Yeah, clear.
So actually, we as security folks, we don't, we don't do this configuration for DKIM, DMARC configuration. It is usually the IT guys. But in your organization, you can always check if at all anybody can spoof your email, your domain. How will you check? By looking at the MX lookup. All right, whichever organization you join, you can just check what is the policy that you guys have. If at all you have a hard fail, if at all you have a soft fail, that means people can still go ahead and spoof your email IDs, email domain, sorry, the domain. Okay, they can still go ahead and spoof.
Yeah.
So
Hello.
we don't actually do all of this. We can work with the IT team, or your organizations will already would have set up, would have set it up. So, but in your interviews, when they ask you, please talk about these things. DMARC is nothing but DKIM plus SPF. You can just talk about, we check whether SPF is aligned and DKIM is aligned. As soon as you tell, they'll ask you about what is SPF. You can explain it to them.
Hello, Suti.
Yes.
What is the use of DKIM? Why they configure the DKIM? Means hash value like private key. What is the purpose?
So to check the integrity of the file, right? So the mail has gone through, right? You might say that this is the actual mail from this person looking at the SPF. But what if the email itself gets tampered in between? What if the
Means
email
like correct. You
check
want
the
to say like
integrity?
correct person have sent this email, but in between the source and destination, the email has been tampered with some content or something has been removed and added.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, integrity basically.
Integrity.
So it's like SSL for emails, right?
Yes.
Shruti, is
The
that public
integrity
key
of the
and private
message
key
itself.
will
That's why
be
you have
same?
DKIM.
So it's a
Sorry?
record or what is DKIM? DNS means like DKIM is some kind of record. DNS record.
No, these are nothing but a key. This key will be there in your record.
DNS record, you mean?
Yeah, DNS
Or
record will have everything. Your MX record, DNS record will have MX record. In
no,
MX
about
record,
this.
you'll find always SPF record, DKIM, all of those things.
Okay, DKIM is also there. Okay, so DKIM record will be there and some key like okay,
The key
private
will
key,
be there.
public
Yeah, the
key,
key will be there. Yes.
public key. So private key, public key means what? It's all related to like certificates, like internal certificate authority, like it
Yes.
all.
And also you can create, this is created, this private public key is created, and you can create, it's not always certificates. So certificates, yeah, it comes into picture for your SSL and all. When you're trying to contact a web server, right? So there also your, before SSL handshake happens, there you check the public early available certificate and all that, right? So there, that is a different one. So there also you have this public private key only. Yes.
Yeah, like the private key, we can create inside the organization, but
So the
public
key
key, I
pair is,
think we need to take it from like
the
some
thing is, the
service
key
provider.
pair is created. So now SOC experts, they create this public private key pair. Private they use to encrypt, public they keep it publicly available so for anybody to verify.
Yeah, so public key, like we need to purchase it, right? Public like certificate, some certificate
Certificates you have to purchase. Yes, yes,
purchase
yes.
it. So public we have
Yes.
to purchase, then only it is available on internet
Yes. Correct.
to
Yes.
verify by anything. Yeah.
Yes.
Nice.
Yes.
Shruti, is this keys are change every time? Like the values of this pair of keys will change every
No,
time?
no, 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 no. I don't think they would change because it is some key which is available publicly, right? So there's a key pair which they would have already. I mean, this just gets added on over here when it moves to your email server, right? All these things are extra things which are added to the email at header, right? So every email, everything, every time there will be no different private and public key. No.
Hello, Stuti.
Yes.
Yeah, can you please repeat the SPF?
SPF, is it? Yeah, I can repeat. So, sorry, before I repeat, how many of you are there? Okay, a lot of people there. Okay, so before I repeat, just one thing, I wanted to ask, did you guys go through this document which I shared yesterday?
Yeah.
Yes, if at all you guys just discuss among yourself, if you want something else to be discussed, we can have an extra class probably over the weekend. All right. So just let me know if there is anything else that you guys want to discuss. We can have an extra class and we can cover it. Just do let me know. Even the last weekend I had asked, I think nobody had doubts, so nobody got back to me. But just, I mean, this is simple, this is straightforward, right? If at all you want something to be discussed, we can always discuss. All right, just let me know. You guys have to let me know. That's it.
One
So
thing
Attendance
about
is
this,
done. Okay, this is an old message. Attendance
I
is
have a
done.
question here.
Yeah.
So
Yes, Ratan.
the public key is always used to encrypt, or it can use
No.
to decrypt as well.
No, not always. No, not nothing like that. Only in this case, right? Only over here. You can't obviously. Where is this? Where is this? Huh. You can obviously encrypt with a public key and leave your private key open, right? So in this scenario, you're encrypting with a private key, and then you're allowing the public key to be there. But this is not always the case.
Okay.
Depends on the ciphers what you use, like RSA and all that. Usually you encrypt using the public key and then decrypt using private key. So it depends on what is the scenario. But in this,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Sorry,
one thing
who
on
missed
this.
the attendance? 1 second. MDS. Please tell me who missed the attendance. I'll just tell the S3. Yeah. Yes, please go ahead. Question.
Yes, I was talking about like, can we go through the concepts of like proof point, like how it secures on the phishing type of attacks? Like we learned today, like the manual check and how tools like proof point works. Actually, in interviews, many times interviewers go through that also, like how you will
Ah,
stop the attacks on
okay,
type of things
okay.
for
Yeah,
the
like
phishing.
that, huh? I think
Also,
that would take, a longer time, and I like we don't have any such like email security solution at our end that I could actually show. But you can request that with Anand sir probably. They might try to include, at least if not for you guys, at least like let's see. I am not too sure if he has included that in your future sessions. People get hands on Palo Alto, I believe. So something like this they can include. Please check with Anand sir once if we can have a demo or something, right?
okay, sure. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I can. If someone can, you can contact me, like Kedar here. So I am working in Wipro, on email security solution. Is a Microsoft Defender for Office 365. So there we have configured this attachment policies, URL policies. So
Nice.
yeah,
Okay,
Was hearing
thank you.
from you
yeah.
only today.
Yes, Stuti, can you please repeat that?
Yeah, I'll repeat this. Yes, I'll repeat SPF. So Okay, SPF. What happens in SPF is like whoever the domain owners are, right? This is not a hard and fast rule that everybody has to, publicly announce their SPF records. No, we already saw an example, right? There was no SPF record found. So ideally, I'm telling you in an ideal situation, what happens is whenever you send an email, right, you would have set up some email server for sure, right? You would have set up a couple of email servers, 2 or 3. Infosys, we saw so many of them. Like those are the IPs. One moment, I'll just show it with example so that you can understand better. Okay, so this is nothing but your SPF record. All right, so if you see here, what they have published the IP addresses, right? So what are these IP addresses? These IP addresses are the addresses of the email servers who are authorized to send emails on behalf of Infosys. This record is publicly available, right? So all of these details is publicly available. It's called as a SPF record. So they're going to add all of this list of IP addresses over here. Okay, and everything will be found in your DNS record, will be along with your DNS records. Okay, so as soon as you send an email, what happens is it goes through that particular email server. All right, whoever service that you're using, right, it goes through them. All right, and when the receiver email server, it reaches the receiver email server, and this person performs a couple of checks. What is that check? The first check is the SPF. So now the email, right, let's say this email is from someone from infosys.com itself, Infosys itself. They have crafted the email and they have sent to someone at abc.com. So the ABC's email server will receive it, and what does it check? It checks from whom have we got that email. So that is from address. In the from address, definitely you will have some XYZ at infosys.com, right? Infosys, whatever, right? Infosys.com. Right, so what does it do? It picks up that infosys.com from the from address, right? It picks up this domain infosys.com. It goes to infosys.com's DNS server. It tries to get the information from DNS server where you will find the SPF records. All right, in the SPF record, they would have mentioned a list of IP addresses like what you see here. All right, so what does it do? It picks up the domain from the email. All right, the from address, right? We saw the from address, right? Oops. Yeah. It picks up the from address, the domain over here, right? It goes to LinkedIn's DNS server. It checks the SPF record in the DNS, right? They will have the SPF record. It will check what are all the IPs that is allowed to send email on behalf of LinkedIn. All right. So what IP it will check? Now looking at the record, right? Looking at the email, right? It will also come with the sender IP address. So you will have the sender's IP address and the domain, the actual domain I'm talking about, the actual person who sends that, and the from address. From could be anybody, right? The domain who sends the email will also be there. The IP address of that person will also be there, right? So it picks up this IP address and it checks whether this IP address is there in the SPF record or not. So in this case, this was the IP address. It has got the IP address. This is the sender domain IP address. There are two things. Sender is nothing but the person, right? So this person can be anything, right? He can also pose someone as from Infosys, but need not be actually from Infosys. To verify that, this email header will have all the information. From address, the message ID will carry the actual person who is sending the email to you. So you will get the IP address of the actual sender server as well. So that is what you see here. So what does the email server do over here? The IP address is anywhere there. It will check the IP address in the SPF record. Whose SPF record? The from SPF record. This person who is posing as linkedin.com, it will check. Okay, it says linkedin.com. Let me go to linkedin.com's DNS and check. So it has gone to linkedin.com's DNS and it has checked the IP. Whose IP it will check? It has the IP address of the sender domain, right? This person's IP address is this, the IPv6. So it goes and checks whether it is there. If it is there, well and good, it will identify that yes, this is actually from LinkedIn. This is an actual email from Infosys because I see this is the IP from the server. That is what it says, infosys.com. So if I go check the infosys.com's DNS record, the same IP is mentioned. So yes, this is a legitimate email and it will go through. Okay. Some cases, right? In some cases, the SPF record will not be there at all. And in some cases, it will not be a hard fail, if it will be a soft fail. So this hyphen whatever you see, right, that means it is a hard fail, meaning anybody apart from this, right, whoever sends the email, you will not let that email go. The email will be dropped. The email gets dropped at the email server. At the email will go from here for sure, but whoever receives that email, right, the receiver email server, it gets dropped there. Why? Because there is a mismatch and I've strictly told not to allow. It's a hard fail. If you want today, what you guys can do is try to send out email posing as infosys.com. Will you send from EMK? I told you that website, right? This one, emkei.cz. Just Google, you'll find many things like this, right? Try to spoof Infosys's email ID and send it to your Gmail. You will not be able to. Unfortunately, I can't show because it is blocked. Otherwise, I would have shown. Is this clear now?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Thank you.
No problem. So anything else, guys? I know I've exceeded a lot of time, half an hour, but thank you for tagging. Thank you for staying. So any doubts? Yes.
Please, on my Yahoo mail, how can I see the original?
I'm sorry, your voice is breaking. Couldn't hear you properly.
Okay, I said on a Yahoo mail. How can I see the original mail if I want to?
Yahoo, is it? You have Yahoo Mail?
Yeah.
Yahoo. Even I have Yahoo Mail. But I have to figure it out. Even I don't know. We'll check. Yahoo Mail. Just Google something like Yahoo Show Original or something. I don't know. There will be some option for sure. Show Original. Yahoo Mail. Email header. All right. Log into your Yahoo Mail. Blah blah blah. Wish to visit the event. Click the above message. View raw message. There will be something called view raw message. Do you see it? Over here. So like if you see my screen, right? So those three dots.
Okay, I
click on those three dots. View raw message.
View raw message.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, what about the survey?
Sorry. How about?
The survey.
What survey? Sorry.
The class session survey.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'll send it.
Okay.
I totally forgot. Sorry.
Yes, ma'am.
I'll put it over in the chat, all right? So that's the trainer survey feedback. Please give genuine feedback so that I might have done a lot of mistakes, so I can correct it in my next class, right? So please give genuine feedback so I improve as well.
There's no mistake. You're
I
perfect.
cannot think you
Yeah.
you had patience in training
now some
and you wanted us to
Just
understand
take
and you did a
taking care.
very
Yeah.
good job. Yeah,
you're
that's
also
what I think. And you also try to give us an extra class on a weekend. So I think you are doing extra. So, yeah.
Thank you so much.
Your delivery is on point. Everything about it, you made it very simple, and it's just awesome. It was an awesome section with you, man.
Thanks so much, Ken. Thank you. But it's just that, it's just that, I feel there are a few more things that I could have covered, but uh, there is a shortage of time, is what I feel. That's the only reason I said I can go for an extra class. So.
I hope your WhatsApp is open continuously. It's not like just for this period. You can always reach you on WhatsApp. Even if you have challenges, personal challenges, we need to clarify. Okay.
Yes, you guys can reach out to me on WhatsApp. The only thing is, if I'm working, I may not. The problem is, I keep this phone on silent most of the time, so I might have missed out on your calls. But
Okay,
I'll
no
make a
problem,
point to get back to you guys for sure.
Okay, man. Thank you so much, man.
Yeah, no problem. That's my job, so don't worry. So, guys, this is my last class. All right. So, please, any topic that you have not understood, just reach out to me over WhatsApp. You can call me if there's anything urgent. Please call me. All right.
Madam, this is Muhammad. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
You have done a very good job.
Thank you so much, sir.
Really, we appreciate.
Sorry, I just checked a mail. Right? And
yes.
The SPF alignment and the DKIM all passed. But the DMARC compliance, it has in brackets, it said no DMARC record found. What does that mean?
It says no DMARC record found, is it?
Yeah.
Can you share your screen? You do not mind?
How to share the screen. Tell me how to share my screen.
Yes. I'm sorry. Whoever wants to leave can please leave if you're getting late for your office or anything. So yeah. All the very best, guys, and please do well in your interviews. Anything regarding your interview, also you can reach out to me. Technical, non-technical, right? I will try to get you some questions if possible, depending on whose interview you have. So all the very best. Do well, guys.
Quick question: is this our last class?
Last class with me. Last class with me. So your classes will go on. So tomorrow you'll have a CV class, right? CV preparation class. Tomorrow is Friday, right?
Yes.
Next
week. Can you take an
So,
extra class, Shruti, just because it feels like class ended abruptly?
No, the class did not end abruptly. Usually, I ask people to go through that phishing, I mean, the email, the what do you call the alerts, right? Whatever the alerts are there, I usually ask people to go through that and come back to me if you have doubts. So, yeah, right? If you have any doubts, feel free. I can have an extra class. Like I said, you guys have to decide and get back to me.
Okay, sure.
I've covered all the topics. There's nothing like I've not covered. So yeah, any doubts regarding that email alert and alert analysis, I can go ahead. Definitely.
This questionnaire you will send it by this one?
So
Madam?
Okay,
sorry.
No, the questionnaire you will post it in the WhatsApp or where?
Which question, sorry? The interview question.
About the trainer.
I posted in, I think I've posted in the same. Yeah, it's posted in WhatsApp.
Okay, in this case, we will do it.
Yeah. The feedback form you will share now with the class.
Yeah, I've put it in the WhatsApp group.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah. So Mumba, I think you wanted to share the screen. You may want to. We'll see that. Sharing your screen. Sorry, thanks. Can fix class Saturday 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Yeah, sure. Just let me know. Thanks, Kira. Thank you so much.
Tuti, apart from SPF or DKIM, if any from those two, if any one of them must pass, then email will deliver to the recipient. Or both?
Yeah, it will just say that it is the authentic. I mean this you might get a banner also saying that we couldn't verify it, or it might go to junk or your spam folder, or depends on how your email is configured in your organization, right? So even that performs a particular check whether to identify it's a phishing mail or not. So in spite of that also there are some emails that get through. So those mails are mostly the spam emails or these marketing emails. That's all.
Madam, the range is from 1 to 10. 10 is the best one and 1 is the lowest one, right?
Oh, that I have really no idea. I hope.
10 is the best one.
10 is the best one.
I have no clue what is one,
And
what is 1, what is 10. I don't know. Don't have that confusion.
Shruti, I have a doubt. Like, if the interviewer asks how to analyze this phishing email, so is we need to explain all these things, or
So, you can just So when you ask this question, right? When you're asked this question, you can tell about couple. Like I told you, a couple of tools, right? You can just tell, looking at the email, if there are any links, we use such and such a tool to perform. And after that, we also analyze the email header. Okay, if your answer is too long, you can just cut short till we analyze the email header as well. When you say email header, there are chances of people asking you, what do you check in email header? Right? Then you can go ahead, talk about SPF and all of it. Or you can just add a small point. When we check the email header, we check the SPF record, we check the alignment, we check the SPF and the DKIM signature. So as soon as you tell that and stop, right, you can, like most of the time people will definitely ask you, what do you mean by SPF? What is SPF? Right, that time you can go ahead and explain. Otherwise you can just stop it till SPF and DKIM. You can just mention those things.
Yeah, okay.
Stuti, after confirm that it is a phishing email, then what's next? What is the next action we need to do?
Super. So once it is confirmed that it is a phishing email, right, your organization will have some kind of a procedure to follow. So in couple of organizations, what you can do is you can get back to the user telling that, yes, definitely this is a phishing email, right? Yeah, actually I was supposed to tell this. Thank you for telling. I got deviated. So yeah, you can always go back to the sender, respond that thank you for being vigilant and you know uh, that normal email that you will have. But as SOC analyst, what you can do is take a note of that particular domain. All right, whichever domain is sending malicious domain, whoever is sending this email, right? Send out an email or a Jira to your IT guys to get that email and that sender blocked. Either that sender or the email. You can get them blocked. Raise out an email, a Jira or an email to get that malicious domain blocked. That's it. So whatever blocking activity, either IP or your domain, whatever, you always have to raise a ticket to that corresponding team, right? Like how we used to raise it to a network team for blocking IP and port. Similarly, here you will raise it to a IT team, or there would be a separate team who manages all these devices. Then you have to raise a ticket to them asking them to block.
Yeah, thank you, Shruti. And one more doubt, Shruti.
Yes.
From today onwards, tier 2 is going to complete. So I think what in first class in the first section, they have mentioned what are the topics are going to cover in this entire course. So I think everything is covered today by today itself. Then what is going to tell in the tier 3?
Tier 3, I think it will be more of there'll be few more all topics will not be covered. I think there are few more topics. You might get hands-on on you know, there is this tool called Let's Defend. Okay, so you will actually be getting some free sessions, like 2 or 3, wherein you can go and see how the alerts are triggered, how is it that you work as an analyst. I think those things will happen in tier 3 or T3, sorry. So a little bit of hands-on on what a SOC analyst does, and few more topics related to, if there, let's say if there is any what do you call, a recruitment which is happening, and they have a separate like if they want people to know about a separate tool, you will be trained on that tool also, provided there is an ask from that recruitment team, right? So all these things will be taken care in T3.
Thank you, Shruti.
No problem. Sorry, someone was sharing your screen and then it stopped. Oh, you shared the screenshot. Okay.
I couldn't share it on my phone. Well, I said check the message. I screenshot it to the
okay.
message. Yeah.
No DMARC record found, but all of these. Actually, yeah. So this basically DMARC is nothing but SPF and DKIM combined. That is what is DMARC.
Yeah.
All right. You don't have any separate thing for it. So is that complete thing is what I'm trying to understand. What can you share your screen instead, if possible? Or else I'll also, I think even I might find some emails which says DMARC compliant. No DMARC record found.
Yeah, it said DMARC record published. Then results, no DMARC record found. I don't know.
I'll check that. I'll check that for sure. I'll see if I also come across some. Can you drop me a message on WhatsApp so that I can get back to you, please?
Okay.
I will check that. Okay, because I need to check that email as well, right? The complete details in that email. So I will see. I might also have some email like that. I will figure that out.
Okay. Okay. Thank
you. Okay. Anything else, guys? Anything else? Thanks for the wonderful message. I'm reading those messages now. Thank you. It means a lot, seriously. So, yeah, guys. Okay. Thank you so much. And yeah, if you want an extra class to discuss anything, whatever was taught till day, please do let me know. 7 to 9 works for me, or even 7 to 8 if there's nothing much to discuss, right? We can have just 1 hour class any day, Saturday or Sunday, or tomorrow. Oh, tomorrow you have a class. So yeah, do let me know. All right. So all the best, all of you. Do well, and like I keep saying, you can reach out to me for anything. Okay, so I think I'll take a leave. All right. Whoever wants to leave can leave. If you have doubts, I'll be here. If you have anything to share or I mean ask.
Hello, Stuti.
Yes.
Yeah. One more doubt is there.
Yes, Sumit.
Yeah. Can you please repeat the concept, the phishing mail?
Which concept?
First one.
Sorry, Splunk.
No. Phishing mail, the basic concept.
Acha, okay, yeah, sure. I'll
Sorry
share that document as well. No, that's fine. That's fine. So whoever wants to leave can leave, no problem. I am sure most of you will be getting late or this anything. So
I'm very happy to learn with you because some of concept I'm not understand, but you can repeat that concept.
Sure, no problem.
Yeah, that's true. You communicate very well
Yeah,
for
really.
us to understand. Your communication was very excellent, 100%.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Okay, so yeah, the whole process, right? So the time you get, guys, is the recording still on? I hope the recording is still on. Yeah. Okay, so I wanted to mention something. I'm so sorry, I forgot. How many of you are there? I hope they'll go through the recording. 20. Okay, I'll just mention a message to go through the recording. Okay, so one important thing is, guys, what happens in your organization is, some people, right, when you ask them to send out, like, if they want to report a particular phishing mail, if you have that report fish button, then you will get the whole mail as it is. You will get it. All right. But let's say you ask them to report it, and what they do is they do a forward, or they do a reply to this mail and send it to you. You're understanding my point? You have asked them to send that mail to you. But what? This is the actual mail, okay? That person has to actually report this. Okay, there is no report fish button. They have to manually send this mail. So when they're sending the mail, there are many cases people just forward this mail. If they forward the mail, what happens is, looking at the email content, you can figure out, okay, those checks, the link, the attachment, all of that, looking at it, you can definitely figure out whether it is a spam or phish. But what happens when you forward is, let me forward it to Stuti itself. Okay, this is a forwarded email. All right, I've got some forwarded email. This is the forwarded email, I guess. March, no, yeah, this one, right? 0 minutes ago. This is the actual one. This is the actual one. I mean, this is the actual one, but I've forwarded the mail. So this is the one which I've received. This is the one which your team will receive. And if you go ahead, do a email header analysis of this, the actual sender details will be lost. The actual sender who sends the email will be lost. Okay, so please ask them to attach the email. This can be attached as an email. If you open another email, you can just drag and drop this email. Even in Outlook, okay, the drag and drop works. For some reason it is not working here, but yeah, see, drag and drop works. Ask them to attach it as an attachment. They have to send the email as an attachment. Why? Because the original email, the email header, will be lost if at all you forward. If at all they forward, they become the actual sender, right? They become the actual sender. Are you guys understanding my point?
Yeah.
Yeah. So please, so please make sure you ask them to attach it as an attachment. Send it as an attachment. If you have a fish button, no need to worry at all. If you click on that fish button, the actual mail gets sent. The actual mail, whatever the mail is there, right? It gets sent. Okay. So, yeah, whenever you receive an email, let's say they have sent you an actual mail, right? There are two things to that. One is looking at the content of the email, you can decide. And one more is looking at the header information. Looking at the header information. All right. So what happens in the actual mail? There might be a couple of links. There might be an attachment, right? When there are few things like this, and even the domain, whoever is sent. So domain, the link, right? You can always check in virus total. You can always, check all those things in virus total. But if you would want to see where this link is actually leading you to, right? So always copy the link. Use this tool called browser link. I've already shown that, right?
Yes.
So browser link, open browser link, put in the complete link there and check where this particular link leads to, where it leads to. All right. You can do that. Once it's all done, right? You can even attach the whole attachment in a sandbox environment, but make sure this is not public one, something which your organization has bought. Okay, some sandbox tool that your organization has bought. So attach the whole thing in the sandbox and it will give you a report. Okay, it will give you a report. So this is all with respect to the content or the actual email. Now there are few more things that you can do with the email header. So what with that email header is what we have seen. So in this email header, it contains who is the actual sender, from where we are actually getting that email. When I say actually, that means when I see the simple email, right? When I see the simple email, only the content of the email, I'll get to know the from address. From ABC, it could be from Mark Zuckerberg also. Facebook. Okay, it could be from this person also. All right. But I cannot be 100% sure whether Mark is actually sending me that email. So to verify this, I have to look into the actual sender. So the actual sender details will be there in your email header. Email header will have actual sender details. Right? So that is why we do a header analysis. Copy that particular header, put it in your MX toolbox email header analysis. Analyze headers, right? You put it over there and you check. So ideally, right, everything is compliant. DMARC should also come as compliant. I don't know why it is coming as non-compliant in the other case. I'll check that. But these are the few checks you have to see. The SPF, the DKIM, and your email header. So in the email header, couple of things you can check. The from address and the return path, if any. If you find a return path, check the return path if it is the same. All right. If it is not the same, see what is that other, if you have a return path, you will have a ID, right? Check what is that ID, check that domain as well. And then always check the message ID. So ideally, this message ID is nothing but, this message ID is nothing but your sender email. Your sender email. So whenever you send out an email, right, it passes through the email server. So this message ID will be added over here, right? So this will be the actual sender, whoever sends the email, right? So this will have the domain name. This is the domain name and the IP address associated with it. So all of this will be added. Right? So what you can do, you can check whether it belongs to the same, organization, right? So in some cases, we saw in the case of Quora, right? So it was not Quora's email IP address, it was Amazon. But what is Amazon? Amazon, they provide the services and Quora is using their services, right? We did see the host name as Quora. That's why we got to know that yes, it belongs to Quora itself. Right? Similarly, check the IP address whether it belongs to linkedin.com or not. All right, so pick up this IP address and check. You don't have to check. Why? Because that is what your SPF does. What is your SPF doing? It is picking up this IP address and it is picking up this domain from the from address. So there are two things. From can be anyone. You can pose as anyone from, but you cannot change anything from message ID, right? So it picks up this particular IP address and it sees it matches with this from ID. It matches with this particular ID. So what your SPF does is nothing but it has got this mail, it has got the header. Now it knows it is from linkedin.com. So what does it do? It goes to linkedin.com's DNS server. Okay, it goes to linkedin.com's DNS server and it checks whether this IP is there or not. Whether this IP is there in the SPF record or not. If it is there, then it is a confirmation that yes, this is the same person sending the email. Yes, this is right. In some cases, what happens? There will be a mismatch or like we saw today, there is no SPF record itself. So there is no way it can confirm whether to, I think it is still there. Where is that email? Sorry, I think I might have closed it, right? But if you remember, what was it saying? It said that, it can neither confirm nor deny. Why? Because there is no record itself. There is no record at all, right? So that is what happens in SPF. It checks who is the actual sender, whether this is the actual sender. How does it check? It goes and checks the domain and checks the IP addresses in that list. If it is set allowed list of IP addresses, if at all it is allowed list of IP addresses, it lets the email go through. If at all the email IP address do not match, depending on whether it is a hard fail or a soft fail. Hard fail means this, right? That's hyphen, right? That means if at all it doesn't match, then don't send the email at all. It has to drop the email. If it is a soft fail, it goes through, but then it says the SPF alignment has failed. Under SPF alignment, if you check, it will be failed. Okay, so that was SPF. And one more is DKIM. DKIM is nothing but the signature. All right, it adds a particular signature and it encrypts. The signature is nothing but the hash. All right, and it encrypts that particular hash. How does it encrypt? It will create a DKIM key, private and public key. It will encrypt with the private key. Okay, it will encrypt with the private key, and all of these details will go in the header. And this person here, it checks the DKIM signature also. What does it do? It knows the domain. It is coming from some domain. It goes to that domain's DNS server, gets the public DKIM. If it is a match, well and good, it passes. Otherwise, it fails, saying the DKIM alignment has failed. You will get a message saying DKIM alignment has failed. If any one of these things fail, your DMARC fails. If all of this works, then your DMARC is also compliant. Okay, so in your interview also, if they ask, talk about the way you analyze the content and the header. If at all you think you're explaining too much, cut it short. Just mention it as we check SPF and DKIM in the email header analysis, when we do the email header analysis, and we use tools to check the actual content of the email. We use tools like browser link, virus total to check the links, right? If they're malicious or not. We use sandbox to check the attachment, whether it is malicious or not. Okay, is that fine, Sumit? I know I went it very fast, but
no, it's fine.
So Stuti, basically these are email security protocols, right? So,
yes, like
okay.
Authentication protocol. Yes, authentication methods.
Yeah, thank you, Stuti.
Yeah, no problem, no problem.
Stuti, that DKIM is mainly for the integrity of the data you said.
Yes,
right?
Yes, absolutely.
It is always like compulsory installed.
No, like I said, the previous one, what we checked, right? It is not there at all. It is
Yes.
not compulsory. It is not nothing. SPF is also not compulsory. But if you don't want people to be spoofing your email IDs, you have to have it.
Okay. Sure. Thank you.
Okay. Sorry. Anything else, guys? Thank you. Thanks, Avinash. Thanks, everybody. So I think this is it. All right. So please reach out to me in case of if you have any doubts. Feel free to reach out to me. If there is a delay, please don't mind because of my work timings. Right. So yeah. All right, guys. Hey, thanks, Nivedita. Thank you so much. Thanks, guys. Your messages means a lot. And all the very best to all of you.
Yeah, thank you, Stuti.
Thanks, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Bye. Bye, guys. Take care. Have a nice
Bye.
day.
God bless you. Thanks.
Thanks, Ken. Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye.
Who is that guy?
authentication protocols ಅಂತಾರೆ ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ.